All right, Henry, we need to get to bed, man. You got to make this quick.
I noticed attitude, a refuse to lose attitude tonight. Did a lot of things, made some mistakes, but a refuse to lose attitude. Is that fair to say?
I was hoping that this game would be like every other game we've had after a loss. We've bounced back. We bounced back terrific after Auburn, bounced back terrific after the game against UTEP, and obviously our last game against San Jose. So I think it's a more a testament to our players and the character of our guys for just having the resiliency and some really good bounce back off of defeat, off of stress.
Good.
Fresno State is known for three-pointers. They're
Yep.
the team in the Mountain West that have attempted the most, and you guys are the ones who have attempted the least. But today you guys had 22 attempts, and you actually outshot them from there.
Yeah.
Was this all part of the plan, just trying to shoot more three-pointers, or was it just kind of happening?
Yeah, it was all part of the plan. Quite honestly, we know our wings are going to have to make some threes, and this was the first time we've really had a break. Our non-conference schedule was just game. This was our first real bye week, and I thought we had some great workouts this week, and we really individualized them into what our team kind of needed. And the guys that need to make shots have taken a lot of shots this past week. We need to continue that the rest of the way, and I think as long as those guys can make shots, it'll really open up the offense for everybody else. That's the offensive side of things. Obviously on the defensive end, we knew going into the game they shoot a lot of threes. I mean, this team in Air Force shoot more threes than anybody we're going to see all year. We knew it was going to be coming back to back. I think as long as we challenge them and really utilize our length and our size, I still like our defense. We're not going to start changing things and kind of running around and giving up a lot of stuff around the rim. So defensively, it worked tonight. It obviously didn't against San Jose. And when teams make a lot of threes, everyone points the finger at our defense and our scheme. But I think our scheme defensively has won us a lot more games than it's lost us from the three-point line this year.
We talked about wings needing to make threes. Vance obviously gets 6 tonight. I'm curious what the balance is between Vance just being more aggressive, letting the game come to him and doing it himself, and how much is on you as a coaching staff and his teammates kind of getting him involved more?
Yeah, I think it's probably a good combination of both. The way we've kind of our team has kind of segued now, and Jaquan's kind of our point guard, so a lot of it's going to be on him. I thought he did a great job of finding Vance tonight. The good thing for McQuatch and Vance and Zane is they're getting wide open shots right now. People have looked at the percentages and they're giving them great looks at the basket. So hopefully now as these guys make shots and then the defense starts to guard them differently, then it'll open back up for the guys that got us here, the Coreys, the Jaquans, the guys that started our year. So it's just going to kind of be a process for us as we kind of work through trying to get things going for Vance, and obviously Vance taking advantage of that opportunity as well.
Vance is obviously hitting his threes, but it seemed like he had a moment of growth where he passed up that 1-3 and drove in for the dunk.
Yeah.
Have you worked with him on just trying to change his game a little bit to get a little bit better?
Yeah, I think I said after, these games are running together. It might have been the Davis game or the Baptist game. We talked about his stats from last year to this year, and I thought the biggest discrepancy was free throws. Last year, he did a tremendous job of getting to the free throw line and just giving himself a rhythm and touching the ball and getting into the game. And this year, he was just kind of settling for threes, and that was it. So I think him just kind of being more aggressive, taking the ball to the basket has been very advantageous for him. And the line going back, I think, affected a lot of people. We talked about defensively, wanting people to shoot more threes, but offensively it affects our guys as well. And it's a little bit of a longer line, and hopefully now he's adjusted to it, and maybe this will be kind of what we get the rest of the way. I hope.
Defensively, it felt like you guys were getting some momentum defensively into halftime. What did you guys carry over in the second half? What did you guys just do better defensively overall?
Yeah, I just thought we had a rough start to the game. I thought they made some plays. They came out with some really good pop. We didn't. Missed some free throws at the beginning of the game, and they just got out to a nice lead. And really from that point on, I thought we won the basketball game. And I thought our team settled in, just kind of grinded our way through it, worked our way back, then got a lead, and then extended it. And I thought for whatever it is, 35 minutes or so, we just played much better basketball.
You talked about having the break coming in this game, a little bit more prepared, but how big was it just getting Carlton back too? Splitting minutes with Corey. Just how big was that be on both ends of the floor.
Yeah, I mean, especially with Grimes playing, I thought it was, we didn't know if Grimes was going to play or not. And we kind of had a game plan without him, and we kind of walked through all that. But obviously with Grimes getting on the court, they still, murdered us on the backboard. And him and Robinson are just a load down there to block out. But just having him down there obviously was big for us to kind of offset those guys.
Coach, you talked about the guys just generally just playing better as the game went along. Has there been anything consistent through the season where maybe it takes them a couple of minutes to get into the flow of the game?
I think offensively that's been us all year long. It's just taken us some time. Obviously right now we have guys playing new positions. We unfortunately were short a couple guys tonight, one of which we found out 20 minutes to tip. So, we're juggling some different rosters, but thankfully our veterans, our guys, Jaquan, Vance, those guys were able to kind of carry the load for us today.
Last two.
Paul, you knew the question was probably going to come first time since the police report was released. Do you have anything you can say about Carlton Bragg being reinstated, why he was reinstated, what you guys know that reinstated him, and do you feel that UNM has done enough on his behalf?
I forget the game I talked to. I said then at this point I'll forward all the questions to my athletic director. That's pretty much where I stand right now.
And Will, last question.
First, Keith, is there a timetable for his return? And then Air Force just dismantled Utah State tonight.
Did they? Yeah.
By 20.
Yeah, Keith unfortunately had a family funeral, went home. I think he's going to be back tomorrow. Unfortunately, he was not available. Tavian came down with the flu 20 minutes before the game, so those two were out. Air Force, like I said, Air Force and Fresno, when we're expecting between the two games, 50 to 60 3-point attempts. So it's been all about 3-point defense going into Fresno. I'm confident that a lot of that's going to translate into Air Force. Obviously, different team, different personnel, but they shoot a ton of threes. And when teams shoot that many threes, they can obviously shoot themselves into a big win, or it can kind of go the other way. So we just have to be prepared to guard the three against Air Force and a completely different style of play.
Thanks, Coach.
And I will add, and I also did say this last time, when I can't comment on things, I've always been transparent. I've always been upfront with people. I'm not trying to hide anything. And when that time comes, I'll be glad to answer as many questions as I can. I'm not avoiding things purposely. Thank you.